everybody, it's Dr. V. I'm back with a little reading for you. This one's going to be a little bit shorter, and it will have some profanity in it, so if that's not your thing, click away now, because shit's about to get real up in this joint. So here I want to do a quick spread for you using some, they're called the therapy flashcards, as well as the Rebel deck and the Language of Letting Go cards. Let me grab those really quick. I just realized I wanted to use those. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at what's blocking this relationship right now. What is blocking your twin flame connection from coming to pass into this reality? Now, keeping in mind that, as the quote says on the top of my channel, the Rumi quote, your task is not to seek love, but to seek that which is blocking love from coming to pass. That's what this reading is about. What's blocking the connection? What do you need to heal? What the heck is going on? So I shuffled this deck. Let me shuffle the Rebel deck really quick. And we're going to just get going. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed, liked, shared, commented. I appreciate all your love. I am currently running a special as a thank you for those, because I hit over 2,000 on this channel. So I'm so grateful for all of you. If you'd like to avail yourself of that, it's 20% off of twin flame, blocks to communication, karmic relationship, I believe. There's like 5 readings and you can get 25% off. So go take a peek. The coupon code for that is thank you. And yes, so Spirit used me as a clear channel for communication. I ask that the messages that come through be in the highest good of all those concerned. Draw a circle around this space, declaring it to be sacred. All right, let's just jump right in. So the first card is intimacy. The next card is insecurity and dialogue. Okay, cool. So the first card, what's coming up is the first block for this connection is intimacy. I told you guys about this when I was in grad school. This was a long time ago. This was when I was getting my master's degree, which was like in 2002 or something. I wrote a paper on the lived experience of intimacy, and I shit you not, I saw like intimacy at that point in my life as like a serial killer standing on the edge of a hall that's like blank, you know, like flickering lights, and it was like I saw intimacy as such a threat. Of course, that had a lot to do with how I grew up and, you know, past relationships and things like that. But I realized, like, I literally had this fear of intimacy that was so deep that I felt like intimacy would destroy me. And so I do a lot of work and healing around intimacy. And that's what's a block for a lot of these connections right now. Now I have no fear of intimacy. I've worked through all of that shit, so I'm totally cool with it. But for those of you that are watching this and this is resonating, you may have that experience of intimacy as well, where it feels very scary because it's so vulnerable. So this card says, intimacy, the definition is a quality of interpersonal connectedness and familiarity, emotional and empathetic between individuals. It's integral to psychosocial development. Intimacy's arch enemy is isolation. Characterized by fear of intimacy, resistance to self-disclosure, short-term relationships, or longer relationships with others who also issue intimacy, distancing techniques, defense mechanisms, emotional parsimony, that means like cheapness, meaningless sexual encounters, intimacy desperation, overcompensation, relationships that move too quickly, inappropriate self-disclosure, neediness, cleanliness, etc., etc. Don't push, dear. He's got problems with intimacy. So for those of you that are watching this, if it resonates, there may be some of you that have problems with intimacy. It's something to heal, something to look at and to block. It's because it's a block to the connection. Then the next one is insecurity. It says insecurity is a lack of assurance and confidence combined with feelings of uncertainty and unprotectedness. Most, if not all, neurotic self-destructive behaviors derive from insecurity and the anxiety it induces. It says, I can't let you in just because of your insecurity. It's kind of these are a little bit like the comic parts are funny, but this is literally like, if you've ever been around somebody who's insecure, where they're like, they're constantly needing outside validation. They're constantly needing somebody else to tell them that they're good enough. They don't feel safe in themselves. It's like they will feed into people stroking their ego. It's like they don't have any sense of it's just this insecurity where it's like they are threatened by anything. It's like I was talking to a friend recently who's going through a divorce, and their ex-partner was so insecure that it was like anytime that they even spoke to a person of the gender that they were attracted to, it was like their spouse was like, who's that? How do you know that person? And it was just this constant barrage of questions because they were so insecure, and it literally suffocated the relationship. It's like the person, there were no outside threats to that connection. My friend really loved their spouse, but the spouse suffocated the relationship, and it's ended now because of that insecurity. Insecurity will suck the freaking life out of your connections. So somebody has some insecurities. Somebody has some deep-rooted insecurities that are impacting the situation. People will run from love. I get people asking this in the comment section all the time. Like, if someone really loves you, why would they run away? Because it brings up all of your insecurities. Because then it's like, real love, when it shows up, can really pose a threat to people because it's real, because it's not based like like a karmic situation. It's like, that person, probably because they have their own insecurities, isn't going to bail. That they're not gonna, that they'll put up with stuff that someone that has genuine self-love and self-worth isn't going to tolerate, because they're like, no, I'm not going to deal with that. So when a person is insecure, they will also tend to pick somebody who's insecure to mirror that back to themselves. And so it could be that maybe your counterpart is insecure, and they've sabotaged the relationship out of their insecurities. It could be that you have your own insecurities that you need to work through. But something that is definitely impacting this connection is somebody's insecurity. And then dialogue. To communicate honestly and genuinely between oneself and others, or between different aspects of yourself. So this is about communication. One of the things that is impacting your connection right now is communication, or the lack thereof, or shitty patterns of communicating. People have, communication is a learned skill, guys. It's not something that you just are born knowing, especially because we're not taught in our society. It's like relationships, interpersonal relationships are not super valued. So it's like you can have, there are people who just don't know how to communicate. And I think about this, like I was talking to someone a while back, and I was like, it's not like I just learned how to communicate. I mean, of course, I went to grad school and all of that, and so you learn how to communicate when you're in that space, but anybody can learn how to communicate. There are communication workbooks. You can go on Amazon or your local library and look up books on how to communicate and practice those things. And like, some of the things you learn about communication are taking ownership for your feelings, for instance. So not saying things like, you make me feel blah, blah, blah. That's not good communication. Saying, when this particular instance happens, this is how I feel. Owning my feelings, my response. Taking responsibility for the things that I say. I'm responsible for what I say, not for how you feel about what I say. I know that in my connection before we went into separation, that there were things that often where communication would be an issue, where something would be said, and it's generally like I would say something, and then my twin would fire back with some kind of like off the cuff, triggered response, and I would be like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to sit with that. And then it would be like, it was just this dance that wasn't necessarily the best, which is why we went into separation. But my point being that there's like, people have to own their behavior and own how and practice learning how to dialogue and have healthy communications, owning your feelings, taking responsibility for what you say, not blaming other people, all of those basic kind of communication skills. If you haven't practiced and you haven't mastered that, it's something that you need to definitely do, okay? So this is working on the dialogue, because it is impacting how this connection, it's a block to this connection. Not being able to communicate, not being able to be in that space with one another is definitely impacting the situation. So I'm going to move this up. So what is the advice that Spirit wants to have for each of these? I'm going to turn these over so you can see it. So what is the message from the Rebel deck for each of these? Laugh. Where the fuck is your sense of humor? It's intimacy, guys. It's not life and death, okay? So this is saying, like, in order to heal this intimacy issue, just don't stop taking it so seriously. Like, when I realized how ridiculous I was being, because this is just me, I'm not saying that you're being ridiculous. I'm saying that when I saw how I viewed intimacy as this big, huge thing, I realized that it was something that I had to heal. That it was something that I needed to work through, my own issues with intimacy. And it was like, kind of like, stop taking it so seriously. Like, I felt like it was going to kill me to be intimate with someone. And then when I stopped taking it so seriously and kind of got my sense of humor back about things, it lightened things up. So what is Spirit's advice about this insecurity? Money, money, money. Make it rain. And I get from that's so funny. What I get from that is, like, seriously, look, if you're putting all of your eggs in the material aspect, it's like if your security is based on how much money you make or how your pant size or whatever, it's like those are all the wrong things. Insecurity needs to be based on your own self-worth and who you are as a human, and recognizing your inherent value and your inherent worthiness just because you're a divine being having a human experience. That's how you heal that insecurity, is recognize, like, no matter what's going on outside of you, recognizing, like, look, I'm a total freaking badass. Like, I am awesome. I'm amazing, and none of what is happening externally is a reflection on who I am as a divine being. And if there's stuff that you want to repair or work on or improve upon, that's totally fine, but don't see yourself as flawed or damaged, because if you do, that will lead to insecurity. So the dialogue card, Spirit says, look, you're giving away your power. You're a badass, act like it. That's so funny because I just said badass. Literally, it's like with this dialogue card, you may be afraid of speaking your truth. You may be afraid of saying what's on your mind because you're afraid of how your counterpart is going to act, or how they'll respond. It's like you're giving away your power. You're not speaking your truth. You're not owning your own, owning your shit, owning how awesome you are. And it's because of that you are giving away your power. It's like, recognize that you're a badass. When you recognize that you're a badass and that you're like a master creator, and that you're like, when you truly understand, I am one with the divine, and the same energy that stepped out on nothing and created everything is within me. When you understand that, when you understand that you can manifest like that just because you set your mind to it and you set your intentions and you focus on it, when you get that and you start to realize it, that insecurity goes away in a second, and you're not going to give away your power because you know exactly how powerful you are. So some messages around letting go. What do we need to let go of so we can heal these blocks, Spirit? What do we need to release so that we can heal these blocks? These are the Language of Letting Go cards by Melanie Beatty. Rescuing myself, love it. This is there is no knight in shining armor that's going to come rescue you from this shit. You've got to do your own work. You've got to heal yourself. So today I will not wait for someone to come to my aid. I'm not helpless, although help may come. I'm my own rescuer. My relationships will dramatically improve when I stop rescuing others and stop expecting others to rescue me. Hell to the yes. Focus on peace. Today I will focus on a peaceful pace rather than a harried one. I swear I know how to read. I will keep moving forward gently, not frantically. I will let go of my need to be anxious and upset, and replace those feelings with calmness and harmony. Releasing resistance. I love this beautiful messages. Today I will simply accept. I will relinquish the need to be in resistance to myself and my environment in any way. I will move forward in joy by accepting where I am right now. So that's how you heal it, guys. It's like, if you're in these spaces of feeling intimacy blocks, insecurity, difficulties communicating, it's like, lighten up. Quit focusing on what you don't have. Don't focus on lack. Focus on abundance. Focus on your internal beauty and the beauty of what you bring to the world, instead of the external titles, money, car you drive, house you live in. And own your inner badass. Take back your power. Literally, it's like the power that you need to create the life that you want is already within you. There's no need to look anywhere else. Don't look for someone to come to your rescue. Don't look for someone to be your hero. You're your own damn hero. Be it. Be in your power. You are so much more powerful than you're giving yourself credit for. And how we move this energy through us, how we deal with this, is literally by allowing ourselves to own our power. So I know this is a quick reading, but I just wanted to get it out here for you. Let me know how it resonates, and if you have any questions, again, if you want to book a private reading, all of the information on how to do that is in the description box, as well as by clicking on the cover photo of my page. So love you all. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye.